So, good afternoon, everybody. I welcome you all to the lecture on objectives of human resource management. When we talk about the objectives of human resource management, we have four objectives. It starts with societal objectives, moves on to organizational objectives, then functional objectives, and personal objectives. The term objectives, if I have to say, if I ask you people, what do you mean by objectives? Then objectives refer to any steps or action that you are taking in order to achieve a goal. Now, in case of organizations, also they have certain objectives to achieve. Some of the objectives related to the society, right, in terms of corporate social responsibility, then some of the objectives which they have to fulfill in order to meet the goals of the organization. Then some of the objectives are towards functions which are being performed in the organization at different functional units like marketing department, operations department, HR department, etc. And finally, we also have objectives related to the personal goals of each and every person available in the organization, who is your workforce, who is your manpower. We have to ensure that the objectives, the personal goals of each and every employee in the organization is being achieved. All right, now let us have a look at what do we understand by societal objectives. Now, societal objectives are the means of ensuring that the organization becomes socially responsive. Now, what does it mean? It means that human resource management needs to be socially responsible to the needs and challenges of the society. That is, they have to perform services for the betterment of the society. So, under societal objectives, your human resource management deals with issues such as legal issues, environmental issues, ethical issues. And it is very important as a student of HR that you should understand that it is essential for human resource management to comply with laws of the society, such as laws related to the labor or reservation systems that is being followed while employing the people in the organization. Now, to give you an example here, one of the labor laws says that you have to give equal opportunity and equal pay for equal work to the people available in the community. Now, this is one of the legal issues which cannot be violated. Now, to elaborate on this, let us imagine, suppose you are working as a HR manager in an organization. An employee is coming to you and he is saying that he met with an accident due to which he has got disability. Now, this is a temporary disability which he has got, and he is making a request to you that, sir, please grant me short term disability leave. Now, as a HR manager, you need to be aware what is the company's policy in terms of providing short term disability leave to the employees and whether this employee is eligible for it or not, right? Now, this is important. Your knowledge upon the company's policy is important because in case you are taking any wrong decision or you are making any unfair decision, then what would happen? The employee may call for a legal challenge against the organization in the future, right? So he may go to the court of law and this may result into a legal issue, all right? Now, the companies have to ensure that the HR managers are well aware about the company's policy in terms of labor laws so that they do not get into such sort of legal issues. Moving ahead. Now, suppose, okay, let's take another example. There's a conflict between the colleagues in the organization, okay, and since you are a HR manager, your employees are coming to you and making a complaint that your manager, who is a high level executive, is not treating the employees fairly. Now, in a situation like this, as a HR manager, what are you going to do? Are you going to give the favoritism to the manager because he belongs to a high level executive position? Or are you going to give a fair decision based on listening to both the parties of conflict, that is to the employees and to the manager, and thereby taking a moral stand as who is correct and who is wrong and what action should be taken against the manager if he is found to be guilty. Now, such sort of issues are called as ethical issues, which HRM or a HR manager has to deal with. So, your societal objectives also deal with ethical issues. In the same way, if I have to quote example of a corporate which is following social responsibility, okay, is returning back to the society, then the best example that comes to my mind is Tata Group. Now, Tata Group, as part of its social objectives or societal objectives, has started a project which is called Vidya Danam. Okay. Now, under this Vidya Danam project, Tata Group is providing holistic education and financial support to more than 2 lakh students. Now, this is one of the initiative which is a part of societal objective of Tata Group. Now, one another project which is called Kaushalya project, which is again an initiative of Tata Group, is trying to improve employability of people by providing skill development programs, by providing vocational training programs and women empowerment programs to more than 3 lakh people in our country. Now, all this come under the societal objectives. Furthermore, Tata Motors, which is under the ambit of your Tata Group, they have another initiative which is called Grahani Social Welfare Society, which is assisting employees, women dependents, by giving them training on how to make a variety of products from pickles to electrical cables, thereby making them financially secure. In fact, Tata Group's philosophy is giving back to the people what you have earned from them, as can be seen in the slide also. All right. So these are some of the initiatives which are being taken by Tata Group as part of its societal objectives. In the same way, if I take example of ITC Group, then ITC Group has started an initiative which is called eChopal. I'm sure many of you must have heard about it. So what is this eChopal? It is a platform whereby all the farmers have been connected through internet, whereby they are being provided better understanding of farming techniques and all the latest developments in agricultural field, so that their own produce can be improved. Now, this is also one of the societal objectives of ITC Group. So, what are all these objectives? These all objectives refer to, ensuring that you are giving back to the society from whom you have earned profits. All right. So this is called as societal objective of human resource management. Now moving on to the next objective of human resource management. Now this is called organizational objectives. Now organizational objectives include all those primary objectives which are going to assist or help the organization in reaching the goals which have been set forward for the organization. So one of the major human resource management function is what? It is to achieve the organizational goals. Now, try to understand that human resource management is not one single unit which is available in an organization, or it is not an independent unit, but it is that department of the organization which facilitates all the other departments of the organization in order to make them function smoothly. So a smooth functioning of all the departments is the prime responsibility of your human resource management function. So what all does human resource management do in order to meet the organizational objectives? It acquires right person for the right job at the right time in right quantity. That is, hiring of the people is the prime responsibility of human resource department. Then developing the people by giving them right kind of training through right kind of training method, putting them on the job training or putting them on off the job training. Thereafter, ensuring that all the selected workforce available in the organization is put to optimum utilization. Thereafter, maintaining the workforce whereby you are taking care of the safety of the health, providing welfare benefits to all the people in the organization, preparing a proper payroll or compensation program for the people available in the organization. Then also doing succession planning is also part of your organizational objective, whereby What are you doing? You are deciding in advance that which person will be replacing whom in the future. That is called succession planning. Now, all these come under the primary objective of human resource management, which help in achieving the organizational objectives. Now, let us take an example here. If again I quote Tata Group, then one of the organizational objective of Tata Group is to attract talented people, retain the better people, and advance the best people through their performance based compensation packages in order to attract and retain talent in their organization. So what Tata Group has done, they have designed compensation, such attractive compensation packages which would be luring, okay, which would be giving a temptation to all the potential candidates to join Tata Group. They also have designed their talent management programs in order to identify future leaders. So these all are the organizational objectives of human resource management. Having seen them, let us move to, okay, so now in this slide, what are they showing? These are the different projects which have been taken by Tata Group as an initiative towards the society. You have Arogya project, you have Vidya Dhanam project, you have Kaushalya project, you have Vasundhara project, and you have Amrit Dhara project. All these are societal objectives Tata Group is performing for the betterment of the society. All right. Now moving ahead, the next objective of human resource management is called functional objective. Now functional objectives, as it is being mentioned, must be tailored to fit the organization it serves. Now, what do we mean by it? First of all, let us understand that functional objectives are those objectives that relate to specific functions of a business which will be supporting your overall organizational objective, which means that functional objective of human resource management is to ensure that every department is provided with the employees possessing the required set of skills and talent. It also ensures that there will be optimum utilization of human capital. Now, to make this concept understood to you, let us take an example here. Suppose in your organization there is a vacancy for software engineer. Suppose it's a IT company, near you are HR manager. Now, two candidates have come for the interview. One candidate has studied mechanical engineering, other candidate suppose has studied computer science engineering. Now mechanical engineer has better grades, he has performed well in his interview, he has good appearance, and he has very good communication skills. Now the computer science engineer who has also come for the same vacancy also has very good grades, but his communication skills are not good and his appearance is also not that good. Now in this scenario, what would you do? Will you hire mechanical engineer because his communication skills are very good, his appearance is very good, or keeping in mind the domain knowledge which is required for the position of software engineer, that is the functional role which is to be performed at the position of software engineering position, whom are you going to hire? Keeping that in mind, we would not bother about the communication skills which are good for mechanical engineer or the good appearance of mechanical engineer, but we will take the decision of hiring a computer science engineer, that is a person who has done engineering in computer science, because he is the right fit for the job. The functional role for which you wish to fill the vacancy, the student with the background of computer science is going to fit it well as compared to the student with the background in mechanical engineering. All right, so it means that you have a role function, there is a specific requirement of a role function, and accordingly as a HR manager you should be hiring a person who would be fulfilling that particular role function. So functional objective must be tailored to fit the organization it serves. Now, to elaborate it further, one of your seniors, okay, one of the students of MBA went for a campus placement. It was a vacancy which was for the position of HR executive in a bank. So, this student was having a specialization in finance. So during the interview process, this girl, she performed very well. She went through the different rounds. She cleared the aptitude test. She cleared the group discussion. When she reached the final interview, so in the final interview, she just said one statement. She said that I am more passionate towards finance, although I do not mind taking HR job. And though she had performed very well throughout the stages of the selection process, she was rejected. And finally, when she called the HR manager in order to find out that what went wrong, why was she rejected despite good performance, HR manager said, had you not said that line that you are more inclined towards finance, you would have been selected. Because what management thought that in case she gets an opportunity tomorrow to work in the area of finance, then she would be quitting our organization. And even if we hire her at HR position, she will not be able to contribute 100% to it because she does not have a passion for HR. She has a passion towards finance. Now, that is what is meant by functional objective of human resource management, which ensures that the person whom you are employing for a particular functional task should fit it. Okay, so functional objectives ensure tailoring to fit the organization it serves. I hope it is clear to all of you. Moving ahead, then the last objective of human resource management is called personal objective. Now, as the name says, personal objective means assisting employees in the organization in order to achieve their personal goals. So, these are all those objectives which will be helping the workers in attaining their personal goals. If you are working in an organization and your personal goals are not achieved, what will it lead to? Your contribution towards the employment will not be 100%. Now, to explain this, let us take an example here. Let us imagine a scenario. Suppose you are having work life imbalance due to which you are not able to meet your personal and professional demands. Then as a HR manager, what suppose, I am a HR manager. Then as a HR manager, if you come to me and tell me that I am not able to give 100%, or if I find out, if I, while observing you, find out that you have not been able to contribute to the best towards the organization, then after discussing with you that you're feeling work life imbalance because of your personal attention that your family is needing. Okay, suppose your family feels that you are not able to give ample of time to them, due to which you remain upset or you remain disturbed, then as a HR manager I can help you by providing flexi timing to you. Now, flexi timing means providing flexible timing to the employees, whereby depending upon your time suitability, your work timings can be reassigned. I can change your work timings depending upon what is suitable to you, which would result in creating a balance between your personal and professional life. Now, this will lead to attaining your personal objectives or your personal goals, right? So if as a HR manager I do not take care of needs of my workforce, then what may happen? The staff performance, my staff's or my manpower's satisfaction may drop. And if it drops, it will result in employee turnover. Either I will have to ask you to leave the organization, or due to frustration, you yourself will be leaving the organization. And as we all are aware, there is shortage of talented people in the market. So it becomes very imperative for all the HR managers in the organizations to help employees to achieve their personal goals, so that your employees stay committed to you and associate with your organization for a long term. And how can this be ensured? By providing better working conditions, by providing standard working hours to your employees, by giving them welfare facilities, increasing wages and salary of the employees from time to time, promoting the eligible people available in the organization, so that your employees feel satisfied at the workplace and they gain confidence in their organization, thereby remaining associated with you for a long time. Okay, now if I take an example of the same Tata company here, In the year 2016, a survey was done by Business Today, and in this survey, it was declared that Tata is a best place to work. Also, if you see in this slide, I have just put one picture here. It shows that Tata Steel is reinforcing the culture of inclusion, whereby it is providing benefits to all its employees and their partners, including newborn parent leave, childcare leave, giving honeymoon packages, domestic travel for the new joinees, adoption leave, health checkups and medical benefits, inclusion in employee assistance program, assistance for gender reassignment surgery. Now, all these are the personal goals of a individual who is working in an organization. And what is Tata Group doing? It is helping the employees in achieving these personal goals. So this is the last objective of your human resource management, which is called personal objectives. All right. So these are some of the benefits and services which you can provide to your employees at the workplace as a part of your personal objectives of human resource management. You can provide them with free lunches, you can give them coffee breaks, take them for picnics, dinner with the boss, dinner for the family, right? Providing them with free movie tickets, giving them vacation trips, and so on. Now, in addition to the objectives that we have seen for human resource management, right? We said we have societal objectives, we have organizational objectives, we have functional objectives, and we have personal objectives. In addition to that, these are also some of the objectives which come under all those four objectives, like your HR manager acts as a link between top management and the employees. Now, suppose one of you wishes to apply, you are working in the organization and you wish to apply for promotion in the organization. Now ask yourself, are you going to send the letter of application of promotion directly to the management? No, you do not do that. So how do you route your application? It is routed through HR manager. So your HR manager, what does he do? He checks whether you are eligible for promotion, whether you meet all the criteria as per the company's policy for getting promoted. Then he will be forwarding your application to the management, whereby the management will be taking the final decision of promoting or rejecting your application of promotion. So your HR manager or HR department or human resource management acts as a direct link between top management and the employees. Then it is the responsibility again of your human resource management to arrange and maintain adequate manpower inventory and ensuring smooth working of the organization. So how many people do we require in order to satisfy the goals of the organization is again the responsibility of your human resource management. That is ensuring right number of people at the right time, at the right place, in the right quantity. Then offering training as a way of developing skills and to enhance productivity of the employees, to devise employee benefit schemes so that the employees can feel motivated and their morale can be increased, ensuring effective utilization and maximum development of human resources, and ultimately ensuring that the goals of the individuals are met along with the goals of the organization. All these is objectives and responsibilities of your human resource management and your human resource manager. Moving ahead, let us move to the last topic of the day. That is, what is the importance or significance of human resource factor? All right, why this human resource factor is important in the organization. Now, if you remember in the very beginning when we were studying, I said that it is your human resources which are converting the lifeless non human resources or the physical resources into productive form. So, what is your human resources doing? As per Likert, who was a management expert, what did he say? It is your human resources which make up an institution. Talk of land, talk of offices, computers, electric equipment, or any sort of machinery which is available in the organization is unproductive until the manpower or the human resources put them into productive form. All right. So that is what is the importance of human resource factor. they are responsible for activating non-human resources. In fact, that Bill Gates, who's CEO of Microsoft, had said way back in the year 1996, take our 20 best people away from us, and I'll tell you that Microsoft would become an unimportant company. So he's talking about the power of human resources, how important human resources are for any organization. Moving to the next point, now, human resource factor is also a means for developing competitive advantage, right? So, how did Reliance Jio become number one in telecom industry? Because of the people who had made some of the strategies related to marketing. That how are we going to market our Reliance Jio SIM, right? And thereby it could beat the market leaders like Airtel. So your human resources are means for developing competitive advantage. Chairman of ITC Group, on emphasizing the value of human resources, said, challenge of attaining international dimension is exciting and aspiration of every organization. In realization of this aspiration, what plays an important role? It is the dynamism of your human resources that provides cutting edge. Okay, moving ahead. So it is your human resources which helps organizations correctly identify its manpower needs. It ensures organizations neither suffer from surplus or shortage of manpower. It facilitates selection of right man for the right job. It focuses attention on development of skills, recognizes the need for appraisal, that is, evaluation of employees from time to time, whereby the incentives for all the employees who are performing well can be decided, provides scope for collective bargaining, whereby negotiations can be done between the management and the representatives of workers, and finally emphasizing on the need for good human relations in every workplace. So that is the importance or significance of your human resource factor available in the organizations. With this, we come to the close of the topic that we have covered today, that is the objectives of human resource management and importance or significance of human resource factor.